Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I am Chris Stuckman, and this is a review of The Strangers Chapter 1. Nailed it. Is this movie completely pointless? Does it need to exist as a but a beat-for-beat remake, you could say, of the original 2008 Strangers movie? No, it doesn't make any sense at all. It's completely pointless in that regard, for sure. So if you go into the movie knowing that, it sounds strange to say, but I feel like you have a shot at enjoying this, which is where I was. I've been following all the news with this. I totally get if people go into this movie and they don't know what they're doing with this, which what it is the director Rennie Harlan is starting with a remake of the original Strangers film, and then there's going to be 2 sequels that delve into brand new lore and things like that. And we don't know what those are going to be about yet, but they're going to be his own thing. But they have to start with a restart, with a remake of the movie. And the thing is, it's like the worst movie that you could remake, to be honest with you, because in The Strangers, not a lot happens in that movie. There's not a lot to remake, but the events that do happen are so memorable. They're so memorable and burned into your brain that, like, it's very clear what happened before. There's nothing to be surprised with there. So a Psycho-esque shot-for-shot direct remake makes absolutely no sense. Now, this one does veer a little bit into its own territory, which is some of the positives about the film. There's a little bit of prequel-ish aspects to this, and they show some stuff that we haven't seen before at the start. It's not a lot at all, by any means. So if you're expecting that to be, you will be disappointed. But knowing that they're going to take this somewhere new with the next 2 movies, I thought that there was kind of it sounds weird to say this because you're talking about a Strangers film, but there's a little bit of mysterious and interesting world building that may or may not have been going on in the prequel aspects of this film, with certain characters in the town that you would see. Fucking Richard Brake is in there, and he's just a cop making Richard Brake face at everyone. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the movie. I imagine that's got to come back into play later on. But yeah, so the ideas that I have in my head for where they could take that are kind of fascinating to me and very J.J. Abrams mystery box-ish. So I'm excited about that, and I did like that. Depends on what they do with it, obviously, but I am intrigued as far as that goes. As far as the actual remake itself goes, they changed enough, sure. Like, it's the same beats, the same idea, just like we know it was supposed to be. But the thing is that, like, where someone would typically come from behind them at this angle from this room, instead they'll sit in a chair over here. They changed enough to make that at least worth watching for sure. And I actually think they did a good job with the way that they laid it all out. I think Rennie Harlan's a strange choice for this, because when you think the director of Cliffhanger, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Long Kiss Goodnight, he's a big, explosive, in-your-face, huge hit-or-miss director. So when you talk about doing a movie like this that's slow and suspenseful, I'm sure it was a fun exercise for him. It seems like a weird choice, but it's like ironic scoring, It's fascinating. You almost have to see it. But I actually think he did a really good job with the suspense and things like that. The sound team on this movie is fucking excellent. Like, they did such a good job. There's little things that go on throughout the movie that there's like a clock that ticks or a sink that drips, and done wrong, it could be super annoying and obnoxious because it's constantly going while they're in the house, but it actually really does something. It adds some layer of creepiness to it for sure. And I really dug that, and I dug all the sound. The jump scares work, surprisingly. Even several of them that we saw in the trailers, they gave away some really crazy scenes in the trailers, to be honest with you. Very Universal Blumhouse-ish of them to do that. But even those ones got me a couple times. Now, I was mildly hungover today, so I was easy prey for that for sure. But it had me, floppy cocking like a couple times in the theater, slapping the top of my, sody pop for sure a couple times, even though I knew it was coming. But I love the cinematography. I thought the movie was shot pretty damn well, and the cinematography was great. Madeline Petch did awesome. I can't wait to see her in future stuff. I think she's going to be amazing. And just to be honest with you, I could watch her just walk around a house and smoke a joint for an hour and a half. No problem. I thought she did a great job, especially playing notes that you've seen Liv Tyler do the exact same thing before. I think she made it her own in her own way, and it's going to be interesting to watch what happens with that. The guy, it's not the actor's fault. He was fine. The character had a little bit of Micah Paranormal Activity in him, and it's not that he was mean. It's just like, you just didn't like the character. He kept doing this, oh, but I'm such a sweet, loving boyfriend thing, like over and over again. And you're just like, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of, we get it, dude. You love her. All right, go get some fucking corn dogs or something. Get out of here. I guess he did have a couple dickish moments towards other people in the movie that made him sort of Micah-ish as well. Fuck Micah from Paranormal Activity for life, by the way. The first movie, I feel like, starts to fall apart a little bit, and I love the movie. I think it's an important movie in horror. But that movie starts to lose momentum as soon as they're outside of the house, I feel like. And when this movie goes outside the house for the final act, it falls off a fucking cliff. I mean, some of the stuff that they did, and again, some of the new stuff they did, they even spoiled in the goddamn trailers. I was like, man, I wonder what that scene would have been like had I not seen it in the trailer, as always. And another thing about him, they have a scene where he eats a hamburger, and it's fucking disgusting. And it's like the movie wants you to hate him. Anyone who eats like that, I automatically fucking hate. It was gross. I just want to say, like, whoever's idea was to leave that hamburger scene in the movie can go fucking suck a fuck. Anyways, sorry, moving on. But yeah, once they go outside, the entire movie falls apart. And it's not like they do anything egregious or like crazy that makes you, oh, fuck this movie. You're just like, damn, it's like somebody else made this movie. It's terrible at that point. All the stuff they did outside the house was awful. The stuff inside the house I thought were great. The setting was great. The tension was there. And then it just really falls off a cliff. And then the end of the movie is, you know, it is what it is. There's post-credits. There's not post-credits, there's a mid-credits. And the outro is really neat. Again, I enjoyed the artwork and stuff that they did going out of the movie. And I enjoyed the opening cards or whatever. I thought that was cool how they did that. And yeah, just, I'm going to give the movie I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think that I enjoyed the look of it. I enjoyed watching them. Surprisingly, I enjoyed watching them recreate some stuff from the original movie. Yeah, it's a 6 out of 10 for me. I didn't have a terrible time, but goddamn does it face dive off a cliff. And I enjoyed the hint at where they're possibly going with this. I'm really excited to see The Strangers 2, or The Strangers Chapter 2, to be honest with you. And that's what I'm mostly left with, is I like the look, I like the vibe, I like the feel. This movie, not great, but I'm actually really looking forward to what they do with 2 and 3. Now, they're going to live on their own as far as what they do. So yeah, that is The Strangers Chapter 2, which, fucking give Pray at Night some love, man. I would have much rather seen a follow-up to that, but we'll see what happens and where it goes. I did just do a video, by the way, on The Strangers, really picking apart and going through the first 2 movies and the best of what The Strangers did, the best and the worst of what The Strangers did in those 2 movies on Joe Blow. So if you would check that out and leave a like and a comment on there for me, I'd appreciate it. Oh, and also, we were going to do a live stream tonight, but we're not now. We're going to do it early next week. We're going to have a couple live streams next week. Jay went to the dentist and his mouth is sore. Sure, Jay. From the dentist. And where you been spending your nights. We love your fucking faces. We'll see you guys soon.
Hello, listener. Do you like scary movies? What's your favorite scary movie? Well, Jay and Mike like scary movies too. You should go and subscribe to their podcast, We Watched a Movie. Because if you don't, I'll gut you like a... Well, I think you get the idea. Enjoy yourselves while you still can.